All right, good evening, everyone. Appreciate everybody joining this call. We have quite a few that will be joining on our Zoom, and then I'm broadcasting live onto my Facebook page. I have a special guest here today, Mr. Hank Seay. He is our recruiting coordinator with our program, well connected with many college programs, and he's going to share information about the process and how he helps athletes, not only at his school where his son attends, but all throughout Texas and all throughout the United States. He knows college coaches, all levels, Division One, Power Four, Group of Five, FCS on down. Our organization well connected as well. So him coming in and being part of our organization is huge. It just adds to the scope of what we do for players and helping athletes get into the room. And by getting in the room, that means we share information out. We say we have a young man who can compete at a high level and is a good fit for the school. When we say that, they listen and they say, okay, let's get this young man on our campus or give us film so we can evaluate, and then it builds from there. And sometimes that's what you need. So I'm gonna go over a few things, a few slides about our Dream Football Classic held at AT&T Stadium, and then I'm gonna open up to Coach Hank. And he has a son who's going through the process right now. So I know a lot of families are on and trying to figure some things out. His son has multiple offers, but definitely the SEC, one of the toughest conferences out there with the Big Ten. So he has cracked the code and has worked to get his son on the map, on the radar, and he's just a sophomore. So it's going to continue to build for him. And we're excited to hear Hank's story and what he can offer up to people. So if you can see my screen, you'll see AT&T Stadium, Dream Football Classic. We have a partnership with the Dallas Cowboys. So we're in Arlington, Texas every year. We'll be back next winter break. We don't have a date yet. We have to wait for the Dallas Cowboys schedule to come out. We have to see, are they home or away? And then because college football is over at that point, are they on a Saturday or Sunday? And then once we know, we'll get our date right away and we'll get that information out to everybody so you can start planning. We already have 70 plus players that are locked into the game, and we just started uh, really the nomination process about 3 weeks ago. And we're getting into our camp season where those top performers and MVPs will get invites as well. So if you're interested, if I had a call with you and you want to be able to move forward, all you have to do is click the link. I sent you one before. If you are interested in being part of our game and you haven't had your interview yet via Zoom with me or a team, please email me at Shannon, SHANNON, Riley, RILEY, at dreamsportsgroup.net. And then I'll make sure that I follow up with you so you guys can, have your meeting and potentially play in this game. We have a lot of talent last year, and then this year coming up, it's going to be, over the top. So many talented players from Power Four schools, Group of Five schools, and more that are going to be joining in. Now, if you aren't, have an offer, if you're not highly rated, no worries at all. That's what this game is for. All right. I talked about my journey all the time, but hey, I'm from Delaware, 3 counties, and college coaches don't come into Delaware. It's not known to have a lot of talent. So, I had a chip on my shoulder. No one was looking at me until someone well connected said, you're a Division I prospect and I can help you. And then my information got out there. So you don't have to be a 5 star. You don't have to be a 4 star. You don't have to be a 1 star to be able to play in this game. All right. I just need to see, are you a talented player? And do you have the drive and determination to compete? And if you do, then you can get out there, showcase your skills, and then build from there. All right, but we'll have the date shortly, but it'll be over winter break, most likely after Christmas, and it'll be before everybody returns back to school. We don't want anybody missing any school time. 4 components of building exposure. I see the top left. All right, one of the first things we do is create a press release for each player. We have their graphic, picture on top, and then we also put it on social media. We collaborate with the player, so our 200,000 followers can now follow that player's journey. We have a lot of college coaches that follow our page, also other media outlets. So when we do a collaboration on an athlete's page, those coaches, those media outlets can now go to that player and follow their journey. So it's very important in the process for athletes to have those press releases done. We also do interviews. So during our media day, all right, Hank helped us out with that, filmed it, and also asked to interview questions. I've done it in the past, but it's very important to showcase each athlete, get their face out there. We put it on our YouTube and also on social media. Parents can share the links out all over so people can see that they were at our event. So it really helps with the exposure there. And then we write articles. We want to talk about everything that a player does great on the field, also what to do off the field. So anything shared to us, we want to get it out there to the masses. So that's the exposure piece. Bottom left, combine during the event. We contact college coaches, invite them out. If they can't get out, the information is shared to colleges across the country, all divisions. We want to make sure that if you run a great time in the 40, if you're quick, pro agility, and then you stand out in front of college coaches and they give you an MVP or a top performer award, that that's shown and you're celebrated. All right, college coaches, they always look at measurables. How fast are you? How quick are you? And do you have size? Then they can go to the next step, evaluating film and more. I don't want to steal Coach Hank's thunder yet, but that's some of the things that the combine can benefit from during our event. We also had the rosters when you sign in, your name, your height, your weight, where you're from, what school you attend. We have your accolades, honors, awards, any film that you share, all the links. That's on a spreadsheet. We share that out to every Division One, Division Two, Division Three, NAIA, and JUCO. All that information is available for them to evaluate and see everything you did locally, and then compare it to what you do in our game. And then that is the bottom right. All right, that is game film distribution. Are you playing the game? You're trying to showcase your talents. As I mentioned, coming from Delaware, I wish I could play in a game like this, where I can go against kids from Texas, which is known as the best state, in California and Florida and Georgia and all the other blue blood areas. I would have benefited greatly from that. So that's why the game film, we record it, we get it out there the way the college coaches want to see it. Before, we had a lot of broadcasting and replays and other things. They just want to see the film. Can you play the game? So we started taking some of that out, because that's what the college coaches were requesting. Maybe down the line we can do an alternate broadcast, but we really want to use this as an exposure platform and give it to the college coaches the way they want it so they can evaluate it. As I mentioned, advocacy, that opens up doors. All right, we're here for every player. We do a lot before the event. We do a lot during the event. And then after the event, we did a documentary on a player, thanks to Hank and his team down there in Texas. And we're going to do more coming up. We also do articles and graphics and other features for athletes. We put their star ratings up there from National Radar. We do a lot to make sure people are seen. All right. And then when we contact college coaches and we say, hey, coach, here's a player that fits your program, and we recommend him to you guys. They listen. All right. Hank, he's not going to recommend someone that can't play at a high level, that can't play for a certain school. You lose credibility. I will never say, hey, coach, look at this kid. If they're D2 ceiling, and call Ohio State and say, here's a player that you need to see. All right. That doesn't align. You lose credibility. Will we push you to Division Two and FCS and maybe Division Three NAI? Yes, if that's your ceiling. But we can't push to programs that don't fit your talent and also your academics. But when you have someone that's well connected, that's how you open the doors. All right, so we have our National Radar platform where people sign in, and then we start pushing your information out there with recommendations and more. So if you need some further assistance, we'll go over that once Hank is done going over his presentation. But you got to have a trusted voice, someone to push your name, and then the follow-up is big as you go through the journey. And then connections, as mentioned. All right, there's a lot of divisions. There's Power Four, there's Group of Five, there's FCS, there's Division Two, there's Division Three, NAIA, and now JUCO is huge, not losing eligibility. So there's a lot of avenues for players. We had a young man who played in our game a couple years ago come back and coach in our game this year. He was building exposure as a senior. He ended up getting a Division II scholarship. His name is Corey White. He played on Division II because that was his opportunity, but he did so well he got to the transfer portal. He earned a Division I offer, and now he's at Prairie View right now for starting the second semester, competing for a starting spot. So sometimes you got to go some routes that you might feel is not your best route, but it's an opportunity to continue moving forward. And then with the transfer portal and other means for players to succeed, there's options for you, even if Division I is not that first option. You can get there moving forward. And then prospects. All right, we have a lot of kids that are building their name up. It's a group effort. The high school programs are pushing information out there. Hank is doing a great job pushing information. These are two kids that go to Somerset High School. All right, the coaching staff, Hank and Moore, are really advocating for these kids, but also everybody else that plays in the game. Hank sends me messages all the time. It's like, I need contact information for so and so. I have a school on the line. They're interested in hearing more about them. So you play in our game. All right, we're going to work with everybody to try to get you to the next level. We want success stories like this. This is how our program grows. The more scholarship offers, the more commitments as we go forward, then it builds our program, strengthens our program. So this is what we want. But Shamar is a freshman right now. All right, he picked up a UTSA offer the week of the event. And then he picked up a Kentucky offer probably a week and a half after the event. And now Ole Miss. So he has the SEC building right now, and it's just going to go with every other conference moving forward. He's definitely a can't miss prospect, but he built his exposure through multiple platforms, ours being one. And then Malachi Iverson, he is a big time prospect. I believe he has 5 scholarship offers right now. And he's going to continue to get more. He has an SEC offer, he has a Big 12 offer, some Group of Five offers. And then I don't have Jake, which is Hank's son here, but Kentucky offer, SEC big time player, just a sophomore. It's going to continue to build not only for those 3 that I talked about, but we have so many more. All right. And I still have to post more scholarship offers. Thank you for all the families that are sending them in via email and direct messenger. I'll get them up. Just have a lot of calls that we're going through because I have over 12,000 nominations and I'm doing a lot of the calls and then doing a lot with our camp series that's coming up. But we haven't forgot about you guys. We're going to push your information out there until the wheels fall off. But just give me a little bit of time to get more graphics and more scholarship offers up. So at this time, I'm gonna open up to Hank. Once again, I appreciate him for everything that he does for our program. He didn't know really much about us a couple years ago, but he saw it. He got his son in there. He enjoyed the experience, and he said, "I want to come back, but also come back in a bigger role." So he's been coming back, helping out, finding athletes, and then after he finds the athletes for the game, then help pushing them to the next level. So Hank, you're up. Floor is open to you. Feel free to touch on any point that I went over last week briefly and then over today and let these families know exactly what's needed to really help them in their journey.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, Shannon. I appreciate it. Thank you for hosting this event for these kids. It's a great event. You made my job a lot easier tonight because last week you did an incredible show and you really touched on a lot of key topics that are really important. The first thing I wanted to talk about tonight is realistic expectations. And that falls under a lot of different categories. And I want the kids and the parents to understand this. When I say realistic expectations, it starts young and it starts with things like size. Naturally, football is a big man's game, so size does matter. We talk about grades, having good grades. We talk about your effort. How much effort are you willing to put in? I know a lot of kids out there, they want to say they want to go to a D1 school, but they've got a 2.4 GPA. They bench press 225. They squat 250. You can't have those high expectations with such a low amount of effort. Those jobs, these schools like Shamar and Malachi, both these kids have incredible talent. They're both very talented young men. Uh, God has blessed them with great talents. What separates them from everyone else, though, and I think why they're so great is I'm with these kids every day. I get to see them, and the amount of work that they put in from from morning to dark is incredible. It's all about mostly it's about effort. So when I say realistic expectations, if you're 6 foot tall and you're an offensive lineman and you weigh 275 pounds, the chances of you playing any kind of D1 football is pretty slim. There are occasions where those guys do make it there, but it's very hard to do. So when you're thinking about a school, you need to start thinking about realistically where you can play at. Before you start thinking about that, there's some more important things that you need to consider. First thing you really should consider when you're thinking about going to college is what you want to do with your life and what field do you want to get into. And once you figure that out, that's when I say start looking at the schools that you can play at. If you're a D2 school, look at D2 schools. I tell a lot of the kids, don't try to go around the country to Oregon or Ohio, or if you're from Texas, try to stay in Texas. For several reasons. First of all, you don't have to pay out-of-state tuition. There's not those fees or those things that have to be paid. Second of all, it makes it so much easier for your family and your friends to come watch you play. It's hard for people to get on flights and fly around and do those kind of things. So those are some of the considerations I would consider. Look at who's the coaching staff? How long has the coaching staff been there? Is there a high turnover at the school? I'd look at the positions. Like say Jake, he plays center. I'm not going to go shop Jake around at a school that's got 3 sophomores, a freshman, and a junior center all stacked up in front of him. It would be a hard task to beat those guys. You know what I'm saying? So you try to find the best fit for you wherever you can find that fit in the category of schools that you have picked. Let's see here. Make sure that you focus on having good connections. I tell you, the networking part of this, I help kids, but it's not really me helping the kids. I have such a vast network of people that I've met over the last 30 years playing and coaching football. It's the networking part of this job that makes it possible. I'll give you an example. These 2 boys that you see on your screen right here, Shamar Nichols and Malachi Iverson, they got these offers, but it wasn't me who actually got these kids these offers. I just happen to know people. For instance, these 2 kids know a guy named Reggie Buchanan. Reggie Buchanan's a guy that helps kids out of Mississippi. Great connection. There's other kids that, like for Jake, my son, I was able to connect with some people, Rocky Hawker and Jalen Sow that run One Way Incorporated, and they were able to help me get Jake his first looks all over the country. Those guys are instrumental. There's some good guys that do these kind of things, and there's some guys that will take your money. So make sure you pay attention to who you talk to and what you're working with. But those are other options as well. Again, on the relation part, I want to go back to the relationship part. The relationship is a really crucial part of this. And when I say relationships, it's not just only with coaches. It's with camps. When you go to camps and selecting a camp to go to, the players that are there are all good players. Pay attention to the good players. Go talk to them. Get their Instagram. Get their Facebook and their Snapchat. Follow them. Keep up with them. Develop friendships and relationships with them, because starting out like Jake has started this process in the 6th grade, where he's now in the 10th grade. So over the last several years, at all the camps we go to, FBU, Rivals, Exact Camp, Dream Sports Group, we meet all the same kids. The same kids make the same circuit, and each kid does better than other kids. Some kids work harder than other kids. Some kids train harder than other kids. And when you hang around and communicate and talk with those kids, you learn things, guys. You find out why is Jake getting so much stronger in the bench press? What are you doing, Jake? You communicate and talk. Oh, this school's talking to you, Jake. Who are you working with? Jalen Sal helped you with that offer with Kentucky. Who's Jalen Sal? How do I get in contact with him? It's all about networking. I deal with a lot of football coaches, and Shannon was right. I get a lot of calls from our Dream All-American game. This last year, my phone is blowed up because of the coverage that we had on it. And I've had colleges calling me, asking me, Hank, who's this kid? How do I get a hold of him? What's his parents' name, his phone number? I call Shannon and say, Shannon, can you shoot me all this kid's information? Shannon gets me the information. I get it to the coach. The next thing you know, this kid's got an offer. That's really how it works as a networking. The networking is crucial. And when I talk about networking too, in your social media platform, Shannon covered this real well last week, but I really want to touch on it again. It's so important, guys, your social media. I can't begin to tell you how important it is. If you have things on your social media that shouldn't be on there, I'm telling you right now, without any doubt, it's going to affect you. And beyond any doubt, videos with a lot of cussing, bad words. You do a highlight video with rap music on it that has the F word and the N word every two words. Coaches won't watch that. They turn it off. It ain't going to do you any good. That's bad. Focus on yourself. I would go to now what we do with Jake. We do it with Shamar. We do it with Malachi. We do it with all the kids over here in Somerset. I spend a lot of time up here and I videotape them working out in the gym, whether it's bench press squat, whether they're doing foot speed and drill on ladders, whether they're pushing prowlers, doing 5, 10 fives. It doesn't matter. Whatever they're working out, I try to go up there once a day and I spend about 15 or 20 minutes and I get video of these guys, 10, 15-second clips of what they're doing, showing their progress. I take those video clips and I send them to all the schools that those kids are interested in. We develop a relationship with those coaches. And how we do that, and I want to clear y'all in on this. This is crucial. It's going to take some time. I touched on it a little bit at the All-American game up in January, but the focus is to find the 15 schools, like I said earlier, that you're interested in going to. Get on the computer and do some time. Get on there, Google the head coach, Google the position coach, get their email addresses, get the scouting coordinator's email address, get all these people's email addresses, and send all the videos that I just told you to take, all the workout videos, your highlight videos. Keep them short. You want to just keep them very short, 15 seconds. Even on your highlight reels, keep them down to 2 minutes. Shannon hit on it last week too. Put your very best stuff, excuse me, in the very front. The very best stuff, and just send this stuff to these guys and coordinate with them and say, hey, coach, I like your college. I'm looking at it. I like the programs that you have. I'm interested in getting a game day invite. I'd like to come watch you play. I'd like to come check your facilities out and stuff. Those guys, next thing you know, you'll get a game day invite from them. Go spend the time at the game day invite. Network with all the players that show up at the game day invite. It's a great platform. It's a great opportunity to grow your network. What coaches are looking for, guys, I'll tell you, first thing that I ask when I talk to any kid that's looking for help in college is I ask him, and there's probably a lot of kids on here watching this right now that I've spoken to. And the first thing I ask you guys is, what are your grades? Again, that's one of the really most important things that you need to focus on, grades. It tells a lot of the coaches about your work ethic. Anybody can make a C. It takes some work to make a B, and they want to see how much effort you're willing to put in. If you're not willing to put the work in the classroom, the chances are the high demand of a college practice, you're not willing to do that. Touching on high college practices too, I want to make sure, going back to realistic expectations, I know a lot of you kids that I talk to out there, you want to go to D1 schools, but I don't think you understand what it takes to actually play at a D1 school. I have a lot of kids that I've gotten there. I know a lot of people that have played there. And I was also in the Marine Corps, and I correlated a lot to being in the Marine Corps, being in like a boot camp. When you sign that contract with that school, your day starts normally 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, and they have your day planned out until about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. And it's a regiment, and it's every day. So a lot of kids will accept these D1 offers and spend that time. Within about 2 or 3 weeks, they're back at home because the expectations, they didn't have the right expectations. And that's part of having realistic goals and plans. When you go on these visits, you need to ask the right questions. Don't just talk to the coordinators at the college. Talk to some of the players. Ask them what their process has been like, what their first 6 months was like at the school, the regiment that they went through. These are all very important questions, and colleges are all different. Each college does different things, but it's important to do those types of things. It'll definitely get you a good cemented foundation to graduate. A lot of kids will go bounce out in a month. I wanted to cover one other thing. And it falls under expectations. If you're a D2 guy or a D3 guy or NAIA or JUCO guy, I tell you guys, accept it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's 1 million kids each year that play high school football, over 1 million kids, and only 7% of those kids play any college football. Think about that. I mean, that's insane. And out of that 7%, only 3% will play D1 football of any kind. So the chances of you playing D1 football are very slim. And on top of that, to make it to the NFL, it's less than 1% of those 3% that even make it that far. So have realistic goals. Shannon hit on it a little bit earlier about NAIA and JUCO. You can now go play at those schools for 2 years and not have it affect your eligibility whatsoever. I deal with a lot of kids that are late bloomers, and I hope you all understand what I'm talking about. We've got several on our football team that are amazing athletes, but they're growing a little late. We've got some kids right now as a senior that I know. He's been 6'1" forever, and now he's starting to grow. He's 6'3", 6'4". They start late. Body development's late. JUCO's perfect for those kids. Don't be upset about taking that D1 offer or being embarrassed about anything like that. Take that JUCO offer. Go build yourself. Get your preliminary college stuff out of the way, your prerequisites. Build a relationship with a coach. Get some really good film. Build your body, your coordination, your speed, and everything up. And then hit that transfer portal, guys. It's the best thing you could do for future growth, especially for the guys that are late bloomers. The kids that are making the kids that have that 2.3 that are great football players. I run into this a lot of really amazing football players, but they just don't want to do it in the classroom. I would tell those kids, if you've got that dream, the JUCO is the way to go. Hit the JUCO, get your prerequisites out of the way, and follow your dream that way. It's a great way to go, and there's no embarrassment in that. Guys, I'm speaking of embarrassment. Everything good that happens in your life happens after embarrassment, guys. I want y'all to know that failure and embarrassment are the success to any guy, especially alpha males on a football field. You think about every time you started in a weight room, you started off with a certain weight, you went in there, got a little embarrassed because everybody's lifting weights, but a year from now, you're stronger. Then same thing happens on the football field. So don't be embarrassed about not getting that D1 offer. I know you see other kids getting those offers and you're like, well, man, I played just as good as that kid. There's a reason it's happening, guys. There's a lot of eyes, a lot of professional eyes that watch you, and they know what they're looking for. And you may just be missing this, or you may just be missing that. Just put the work in. Don't just rely on your talent, guys. I know a lot of kids do that. One of my favorite sayings, and I tell a lot of kids all this time, is outwork everybody and let talent be your plan B. That's the key. Jake's where he's at because he works. These boys that you see on the screen, pretty much all the boys that I work with, Enoch Hall over in Devine, Texas, Grant Sweeney, who was our quarterback in Dallas, you won't find kids that work harder, and they work hard in the classroom and they work hard in the gym and out of practice, away from football. I want to talk about camps a little bit. I know a lot of people talk about, that's probably my biggest question, is what camp do we go to? How do you choose which camps you want to go to? And I say, in my opinion, it all depends a lot on age and where you're at in your football, how high your football IQ is. There's several organizations out there that do a great job, especially starting young. Dream Sports, the company that I work for, fantastic. They get the kids involved. I know Shannon, I know he says fifth grade, but he's changed the rules several times with the talented fourth graders. We get them into our camps, get them exposure young. Another good camp is FBU, does a great job. Rivals, the young kids, I'd say get to those camps early. It teaches you a lot of things. They have a lot of good coaching at those camps. It teaches you the process. It starts the process of learning, the learning curve, the networking curve. But you don't have to go to all camps. I said you get a kid that's in the 9th grade. He's just starting his football career. I would find a camp. A Dream camp would be great because what I like about Dream is they cover every aspect. I've worked for FBU. I've recruited for FBU. I helped build some of their football teams. I've coached for them. They're a fantastic organization. They help a lot of kids. They host the All-American Navy game in San Antonio. But that FBU is designed. I feel like they pick the top 5% of the kids that come through there. They work with everybody. They educate everybody. They teach you where you need to do, but they just take the 5%. And what I love about Dream is We take all of you guys. You understand what I'm saying? If you can play JUCO football, we're going to help you get to JUCO football. If you can play Division II football, we're going to help you get to Division II football. We cover the whole gamut. So there's different camps that do different things. The Exact camp, they have a game that they play over in England. They have international games. So depending on what you want to do and what you're looking for, uh, there's lots of options out there for you. Uh, if you're trying to look for a D1 school and you're a D1 player, you start to get D1 looks. If they're talking to you, I would start looking at like mega camps, something like SMU puts on a really good mega camp up in Dallas. LSU puts on a great mega camp. I would also tell the kids, wherever your hometown is, find a school near you. Like here in San Antonio, they have UTSA Roadrunners, great Division I school, Incarnate Word. Jake and these young men that you see on the screen here this year will all be making those rounds. Even though they got these other offers, they are going to go to UTSA. They're going to hit that camp, Incarnate Word camp. Hit the camps that you're locally near you and see what they think about you. Get their opinions, guys. These are college coaches. They're college scouts. Value what they have to say. Listen to the input. Don't take it with hard feelings, because they're trying to tell you what to do to get better too. But camps are good, though, because it gives you really, really good feedback on where you stand. It also lets you see where you stand with other kids, the talent level, what you need to do to improve. Let's see here. What else do I want to talk? Oh, I also want to talk about being coachable, guys. Uh, I noticed it at this last camp. We had a camp Sunday. We had an FU camp Sunday, and there were several kids that just weren't coachable. And what I say by that is you have to have thick skin. These coaches, they don't have a lot of time. They have, even when you go to these camps, when Shannon runs a camp, we have to do a combine, 7-on-7, and a lineman's challenge. We have to get all that done in 3 hours. So they don't have a lot of time to repeat what they say. They don't have a lot of time to be nice. They're trying to communicate with several kids at once. So if a coach yells at you or he speaks to you in a way that you feel is upsetting or disrespectful, you have to swallow that stuff, guys. You're in their world. You're in the world of football. You asked to be there. They didn't ask you to be there. So they're trying to give you information in a way that you will understand it, a way that they only have to teach it and say it one time. And you have to have thick enough skin to take that information in, just say yes, sir, and go do what they ask you to do to the best of your ability. A lot of you guys today, and again, I saw this Saturday, there was some kids that just had some really bad attitudes. That just kills you. And your mom and dads are paying a lot of money to send you guys to these camps. So focus on being coachable. Don't take everything as a negative. Any information that you receive doing this is good information, no matter how the delivery is. Take the information, do what you best can with that information, and carry forward. But be coachable. Very important. Shannon, that's really what I wanted to touch on tonight, Shannon. If anybody has any questions, I don't mind answering them.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, if I just allow people to unmute if they have a question. Angelica, you have a question, you can unmute. She there? Okay, I thought she had a question.
If they have any questions too, Shannon, feel free, guys. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram and X and everything like that. If you got any questions, just shoot it over to me and I'll gladly help you guys. I do want to add one more thing, just so it's good to have outside help. It's good to do the things I was telling you to do, communicate with the college, make that list, reach out to them. National Radar was something in our company, and I'll tell you, it's been super effective for Jake. It's got Jake a lot of college looks, and a lot of people. It's opened a lot of doors. Not only what Rocky and Jalen have done for him, but also the National Radar. It's putting all the tools together. National Radar, we have like 1,000 colleges that see you, and Shannon's very good about posting all your information up on the site, all your data, all your videos and film. I've gotten a lot of phone calls just from that, guys. So national radar in conjunction with doing some of these camps, lining up your networks with your coaches. It takes time. You have to tie all of it together. You can't just do one thing. It's going to take multiple. You have to do multiple things if you want to be successful, and it does take time. It's going to take some time, but once you get the time done and you've got all the email addresses and everything else, it's real simple. Then just downloading the videos, editing, and then sending them out. I also want to talk one more thing about the social media. Make sure that you're not posting anything negative. I tell Jake to stay away from politics and sex, guys. Those two things right there only cause a lot of problems. Y'all are too young to be getting involved in that stuff anyway. Avoid those kind of things on your Facebook page. Just stick with what you do for a living. If you like to go hunting and bass fishing, clay shooting, whatever you like to do, post those things on your post too. Coaches like to see that. They like to see that you have outside interest in life and that you you have multiple talents. But definitely stay away from politics and any type of sex talk, bad language, bad videos. Be very careful about what you share. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of kids won't write a post, but a friend of theirs or somebody that they don't know wrote a post and they'll share it. Guys, to a lot of coaches and a lot of people, when you share somebody else's post, even though you didn't write that post, it's pretty much the same as you writing that post. It's your thoughts and it's your views. So be very careful about people's posts that you share because it could be taken the wrong way. Just keep those things in mind because those are things that you could do that could really shoot yourself in the foot. And a lot of times you only have one chance to make a good impression. So make sure those guys, when they go to look at your social media, that they don't pull something bad up and see that because it'll hand grenade you.
Got you. We have three hands up. Angelica had her hand up first, so I'm gonna ask her to unmute. It should pop up on your screen.
Oh, there it
And
goes. It finally went through. It wasn't working earlier. I was like, okay. My question was, you did talk about expectations. Like, say your kid's good in school, but how do we find out the expectations of what they need to be for college, like sizes and weight? Does that make
Well,
sense?
it does. And I have the access to that information because I deal with a lot of kids now. I have some charts that I can share, and I'll share it with Shannon, and so he can put it out there, and I'll share it on my page too. I'll give you some examples just right off the top of my head. A lot of the SEC schools, even my son Jake, we went to some SEC schools and visited him, and he didn't get offers because he's even being 6'3" and 320 pounds, he's too small. So they have height requirements. Like centers, they want to at least be 6'4". Guards, if you're less than 6'5", I don't care how good you are, they won't take you. You have to be 6'5". Tackles, they want you to be 6'7" to 6'9". Certain schools now, so other schools have different requirements, but a lot of the bigger SEC schools, Big 10 or Big 12 schools, they have certain requirements just based on years of experience. Certain coaches just want a certain size kid because that's what he's used for 30 years and he's been successful at it, and or he's had bad luck with some smaller kids. Size is one of the factors. Speed is another factor. IQ, football IQ, and learning ability is a factor. It plays a role in it.
Okay,
But each
can I jump
school
in
is
real quick,
different.
Hank?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would say you can also go to the roster online, and if your son is a defensive back, just go to the defensive backs, at Cincinnati and look at all the cornerbacks, look at the safeties, and you can see what they're kind of looking for their program. So if you have a son that's like 5'8" and weighs about 160, and then you go on to Ole Miss or Cincinnati and you see their rosters, it'll tell you what they're looking for. And you can do that for Power 4 schools and then the group of five, and you'll start to see where these programs are starting to look at the height of your son. You can click on some highlight videos and find them and see how they play. And does your son's video kind of relate to them? So you can do your own research as well just by going on rosters and looking at some of the players that have come before him that might be freshmen or sophomores on the roster.
I'll tell you
Okay,
too,
yeah.
Angelica. and I should have brought this up earlier, the school that you currently attend, like your son's attending, whether he's in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th grade, that's, I tell you, more importantly than anything that I've talked about tonight, that's probably one of the most crucial things is being in a place where your son has the right coaching staff, the right ability to coach the kids, has connections to the colleges. That's crucial. We've been places where I have 4 sons, and Jake's my last one, but all of my kids have played football. And we've been to towns and to programs that the program just wasn't, they didn't have the right coaching there. And I knew that, so we left. You got to put your kid in a good position to where they have the right staff. If you got the right staff, you wouldn't even have to ask me this question. If your son was doing well, let's say in the 8th or 9th grade, your coach will pull him in the office and say, "Hey, what's your plans? Do you think you want to go to college?" The answer is yes. Then they start the process right then and there at a good high school program. I wish all programs were good, but they're not. And you just got to make sure you find the right program, even with the kid's expectations as far as position. A lot of kids will start out in 6th or 7th grade because they're the biggest kid at that age. But when they get to 9th grade, they didn't grow and everybody else around them grew, but they're still trying to play the line. And you don't have the staff on hand or the coaching expertise to say, look, hey, maybe you need to change this side of the ball or do this or that. They'll just let him stay there on 2nd or 3rd string forever, you know. So you got to find it, make sure you get your son starting out in the right place. And if he's not in the right place and he's got the talent, I suggest, move. We moved. I came to Somerset because the school was amazing here. I tell you another thing that y'all need to look at too with your kids. It was real important for us, and this was the main reason we came to Somerset. Somerset offers a college program here that my son was able to get into. So when he graduates high school, he'll already have his associate's degree. And that was the main factor in why I came here. And it's a big plus too, if your child is going to play football at the next level and he's going to play at the next level, to find a school that does that, because it knocks out all the prerequisites in high school. It doesn't cost you a cent. He gets 2 free years of college. And then it makes it so much easier to offer, especially for a college. If he's already got his associate's prerequisites out of the way, that means he can spend a lot more time learning football. That shows the colleges that this kid is serious about what he does. If you got 10 kids and one kid's in that program, the other 9 aren't, the college coaches are going to pick that kid. You know what I'm saying? So there's benefits to that. So look at the program that you're in. Really pay attention to the coaching staff that you have in junior high and specifically in high school. Make sure that the staff is getting kids to college. If you're at a high school and you get there and in the last 7, 8, 10 years, not one kid has gone to high school at a high school, and your son's a football player and you're a football family, I'd start asking some questions and have some concerns. I'd find a place that's successful, that promotes kids, that gets the kids to college. And not just that, not just get the kids to college, get the kids to college and the kids graduate from college. That's key. Look at those high schools that not only get kids to college, but those kids, 80%, 90% of them actually graduate from college. That's what you want to look for, in my opinion. You find those high schools with those kind of programs, it makes your son's football career, football recruiting process so much easier. Let me give you another example. You may have a son that's a wide receiver, okay? He plays wide receiver, 6'4", 200 pounds, runs a 4.5 40, catches every single thing you throw at him. But your football program runs the slot T or the wing T, and they run the ball 99% of the time, and they might throw it to your son once a game. He's basically blocking all game. If you're in a situation like that, I would say, look, this is not the program for me. My son's skill level and what he can do isn't being taken care of at this school. You go find a place that throws the football 70, 80% of the time, that meets your son's his talent level and how he performs. There's lots of things like that are important for this process to even really start. I should have started with this in this conversation, but having a good foundation where your launching point, where your kid's high school career starts, is crucial. You got to have great coaches. You got to have knowledgeable coaches that know how to network, that already have connections with colleges. Each coach has their own connection with each college. That's what it's like here in Somerset. That's why another reason we came here is the staff is so excellent. They have coaches that played in the NFL. They had coaches that played at Iowa and Big Ten and Big 12 SEC schools. And those coaches pass all that knowledge down to your children, gives them such a huge head start. So those are the things that I would look at if I had a son that I knew, like Jake. I knew Jake was going to be a football player young because he was big from the very beginning. He's always been way bigger than everybody else. So we knew he was going to be a lineman. I knew he was good at football at a young age. So we started planning his future out. 5th, 6th, 7th grade. We made decisions at those years to take care of the years it's now, and it's paid off. It's paid off. So is Shamar. Malachi's dad's done the same thing. JW. A lot of players on our team have done the same thing, and each one of those people have had outstanding outcomes.
Gotcha. Well, appreciate you sharing that, Coach. We have Coach Izzu has his hand up. So let me ask him to unmute real quick.
Oh, there we go. Hi, this is Judah. But my question was, would you recommend me to go to a top high school in my state or go to a lower recognized high school where
I would recommend going to a high school that just has a good staff. It doesn't have to be the high school that wins all the games. It doesn't have to be the smallest high school. I would focus on the staff, the coach, who they know. And I would also focus on is the same in college. You have to do the same thing in high school. If you're going to move or make that kind of move, you need to look ahead and see if you're a receiver, if they've got 10 receivers there, that probably wouldn't be a good move. You know what I'm saying? But if they got a school that only has 2 or 3 receivers and they're looking for a receiver, they got a good coaching staff. That's probably where I would go. But it has to fit for you all the way, Judah. It has to fit you for your personnel, your position. It has to fit you for the coaching staff. You want to have good teachers. You want to have a good program. You don't want to go to a program that has it has an F rating, but it has good coaches, but the school has a poor rating and you don't do well. It doesn't have good academics. You see what I'm saying? You want to try to find the best of all those things. But most importantly, I would say would be the head coach and the connections and the program itself. You want to find a program that's good. If it's a winning program, or there's a lot of programs that are losing and hire these coaches to come in and turn these programs around. Find a program like that where they've just brought in some really good coaching staff and they're trying to turn that program around and they need players. That would be my suggestion, Judah.
Good stuff there.
Coach. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome, bud.
And we had a hand up and went down. I think it was Terrence. Not sure if you still have a question. You can unmute if you would like.
Basically, they went over the question that I wanted to answer. It was basically going over the high school level, the competition. There's a lot of recruiters, based off of the competition that the player is playing against in the high school.
Oh man, again, yes, great question. 100%. It matters. If Jake was playing, I'll give you an example. These 2 kids that you see on the screen right now, if they were here in Texas playing at a D1 or D2 school, the chances of these guys, without having the light shine on them from Dream Sports Group, from having help from like Reggie Buchanan or Rocky or Jalen, they wouldn't have these offers. So I tell these guys, you gotta play in a place that, first of all, is going to play competition. You want to try to find a school that at least can get to the first or second round of the playoffs, because the deeper you go in the playoffs, the more attention colleges pay attention to. They focus on the last 4 games of the playoffs. They focus on those kids. They can show up to the games. They send their scouts. They pay attention to those games. So yes, I would say it does matter. It matters what size school you play in, and it does matter the competition that you play. If you got highlight film and you're dominating everybody. But these college scouts, they're very good at noticing who you're playing, what time of the what period of the game you're playing in. If you're showing film of yourself and you got great highlights, but it's all in the fourth quarter and the score's 50-14 and you're in and the second string's in and you're playing against second string, they notice all that stuff. So it matters where you play. It does, without a doubt, it does, Terrence. It absolutely does. The program that you're in, the size of the school you're in, and the competition you play means a lot.
Yep.
And if you're in a small school and you can't move, that's where Dream Sports Group comes into play. You know, there's a lot of kids here in Texas. That's why I do what I do. Texas is a great football state, but it's gigantic. San Antonio and south of San Antonio, there's not a lot of football coverage down here, but there's amazing football players, but they're all in 2A, 3A, and 4A football schools. They don't get seen. A lot like why Shannon started this business, actually. He played up in 3 County, Delaware, outstanding football player, but because you're in a certain part of the country, people just aren't going to make that trip to see you. No matter how much film you send, no matter how good you are, because they go, oh, he's in a place where there's no competition. He's not playing any competition. He's not worth the look. All that stuff matters. So Dream Sports helps tremendously with that. And it's helped a lot of kids. Since our football game in January, I know personally we've had 14 or 15 kids that played in that game that have already gotten offers from D1 all the way to JUCO. So, and they're all from small towns, D1, D2 schools, never had a look, show up, play in the Dream Sports game, bam, it happens. So there is hope for you guys that if you don't have a lot of money and you can't move out of the district, I see that a lot too. Parents just don't have the money to move. If you don't have the money to move, I suggest find good camps. Dream Sports Group, get in their national radar program, puts you right in front of 1,000 colleges instantly. Shannon does a great job with his audio and video editing, edits the film, edits your film. He gets it up there so everybody can see it. It opens doors. But I hope that answered your question.
Yep. We have one more question, and then we're getting close to 10. So Carolyn, you're here. Let me unmute you, and you should see that pop up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I actually got kicked out of the meeting, so I kind of missed the last part of that. But Hank, I think you were kind of touching on what I was going to ask because we live in rural northeastern North Carolina, and
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
actually getting ready to we are going through a change in coaching at the high school. My son is in 7th grade. But this is going to affect them in a couple of years. This is small town politics. You have to have one of those big family, old farming family names in order to
Yeah.
get a job here. So that is exactly what they did. They hired someone who the recent head coach who became athletic director is going to be able to tell him what to do, and he's just going to bow down and do it. So high school,
Yep.
not looking so great for my son. So did I hear you say try to hit all the camps?
Yes, if you can't move, if that's the situation and your son's talented, I wouldn't stay there, ma'am. I tell a lot of parents, your kids only have 4 years. They got 40 games roughly. They got 4 years to do what you're trying to do to get them to D1 any college. You have 4 years. So you have to be very smart with that time because you can't get that time back. If you go to a place and your son spends the first 2 years playing JV football, and sit second string varsity, and he only sees the varsity field his junior senior year. In today's time, ma'am, that's not good, and I'll tell you why it's not good. Because you got the transfer portal sitting there with thousands of athletes that are already they've been in college 2, 3, some of them 4 years. They're grown men, and they've already proven that they can do everything that's required that a college coach asked of them. They're on time. Their grades are good. They show up to practice. They're there when they're supposed to be there. Your sons, everybody, all these kids that are listening right now, y'all are all competing against grown men in the transfer portal. So I know all this, and that's why I moved here. I knew that the transfer portal was there. My son's opportunities basically cut in half. Your sons with the transfer portal, their opportunities cut in half. So I didn't mess around. I moved. I came over. I did my research. I found a good school that has a college program that my son can graduate. I found a school that had an A rating. I found a school that had great coaching, that had kids go to college out of it every single year. And that's the school I came to. Yes, if we would have stayed at the school we were at, uh, Jake would have, that's why we were there before I moved. We did FBU, we did Rivals, we did Exact Camp, we did Dream Sports. All that helped. It did help. There's no doubt about it. But when you get to high school, there's really no substitute. The colleges want to talk to the college. The colleges want to talk to the head football coaches and the teachers that teach your son. Before they spend $500,000 offering them a scholarship, they do a deep dive. And if you're at a school that there's a high turnover, let's say like you just said, your son, you have a new coach coming in. What if that happens when your son's a junior or a senior and the coach is coming to talk to that guy and the coach just ain't there no more? He doesn't know anything about your son. There's a lot of things that you have to take in consideration with that. So if I were you, just based on what you told me, I would find, especially if he's in the 7th grade and can play football, I would look for another place to find and get him there. But if you can't, I'd get him at every dream camp. I'd get him at every camp you could get him to locally, and get him networking, start the networking process. And you'll know within 2 years how truly talented your son is. The cream always rises to the top, guys. I know there's a lot of parents out there that thinks their son's the best. I was one of those parents. I told you I had 4 sons, and I think all my sons are the best, but I get humbled really quick. When you get to these camps, the scouts that are there, the coaches that are there, they're very good at identifying talent and recognizing stuff, and they'll see it. So if he's got a lot of talent, especially 6th, 7th, 8th grade, and you're going to these camps and he's getting invited to Top Gun and he's getting invited to Dream Sports All-American game and the middle school game in IMG in Florida, then I would go, okay, everybody's seeing what I'm seeing. They're understanding my son's good. That's when I would really start looking at possibly moving if the school wasn't very well. If it didn't have good coaching, it just wasn't a good situation, I would definitely move if that was the situation. And that's why we moved. We got involved, Jake early. He got invited to the 8th grade Under Armour game in Orlando. And that's when we knew, okay, he's good. He's good enough to move. So we spent the money and we moved.
Understood. I wish we could move. That really isn't an option for us.
Yes, ma'am.
But we are doing camps. We're really starting to we'll be going to one of the Dream Combine or the Recruit Nation in May. It'll be his second time going. So we're really just starting to dive into this world of
Yes, ma'am.
wanting to go to college and play football.
Sure.
But of course, I am worried about his high school years, but we live in rural North Carolina, but we do a lot of stuff in Hampton Roads, Virginia,
Yes, ma'am.
because we don't have it here. Like his personal trainer is in Hampton Roads, Virginia, which he will continue with as long as this dream sits with him.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought that up too. That brings up another point I wanted to touch on: personal trainers. That was another key thing that I looked at when I brought my son here. I had told you I had 4 sons. The other 3 sons, I spent a lot of money sending them to personal trainers, extreme speed and this and that. Try to find a school where you don't have to do that. Somerset has, we're lucky, we have an amazing training staff that they do all the things that you would get at any other facility. So it saves you a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? If you can find a school that actually does the real training, works with the bands and does all the speed training, prowler work, good weightlifting program. I'll give you an example, like here at Somerset. You on varsity football, you can't play varsity football unless you bench press 300 pounds or squat 500 pounds. You don't even see the field. So you find a program like that where you know that the kids have to work to even get on the football field. That's a great program to be in. Very disciplined, high standards. I would look for something like that.
Yep, you can only control what you can control, but yeah, definitely you're doing the right things. You're putting them in camps, you're training him. So you're starting with that early foundation. So just continue with that. And then, as he gets into high school years, reevaluate and see what is available. But we're here to help as well. I'm glad he's getting into some of our camps, and we don't talk bad about anybody else. Do other programs, get your name out there as much as possible. It's all good. If someone says don't do this or don't do that, don't do this, then they're selfish. They're worried about just them and not the athlete. So we're always going to push the athlete first. And we know we're not the only thing. We know we're good. But there's a lot of stuff. Hank talked about a couple of camp circuits and other things. Do all you can to get in front of the right people and make those connections and see where it goes. So just to summarize, I know Hank talked about targeting schools, getting your list together. So that's something that you guys should do as soon as possible. I know he said 15. If you wanted to go a little bit more, you can go a little bit higher than that. But just get the schools that kind of fit athletic ability and academic ability, and then region that you're looking at. Target different levels. Don't be D1 or bust. Make sure that you're doing the research and getting the right schools there, and then seeing what the market says. If you just do all D1, get nothing back, then now you're stuck. But if you do some major D1, group of five, FCS, Division two, see who's starting to respond, and then you say, okay, that's where they kind of see me. You can still shoot high, get your information out there, develop and get better. But you have to test the market with all levels. Camps early on, learning, teach they teach great things, and then exposure comes from later on. High school, you got to make sure you're in the right things. Don't just go to a rah someone screaming in front of you type camp. You should be in front of college coaches so you can be evaluated. We do that, and a few others do as well, and definitely get on the college campuses so you can be evaluated. And then I see a hand back up, Angelica. I'll get you in a second, but um, you want to make those connections early, especially if you're a sophomore, junior, senior. You have to get to the camps. And as I mentioned, big camps like Ole Miss, there's a lot of fields there. You want to be on the field where those coaches are evaluating. There are other coaches there in those megas. But if you're interested in Ole Miss, you got to make those connections. So when you go to Ole Miss camp, you're not on field 69. You're on field one or two, where you're closer to those coaches and can have a chance to meet them and grow with them. If you're not on that field, it's going to be hard to be evaluated by those coaches. And then you want to get to spring games and junior days, and then game day visits, as Hank talked about. That's a chance to see the facilities, meet the coaches. They can see how tall you are, and just look you in the eye and just get a good feel for you. So that's where the networking comes in. You need to get into the room. You need to get to the spring game, the junior days, the game day invites, just so they can meet you in person and go from there. I'm gonna open up to Angelica real quick to ask her question, and Hank, you can just do the closing. Oh, we have another.
Sure.
Jew has a question too, but Angelica first. Here you go. You can unmute.
My question is, are you guys going to be doing a camp again in California? Because I noticed that it was removed the last time I checked it out.
Yeah, we were in California twice last year. We're just working on a field and getting the right situation there. I didn't want to throw a date and a location and it's not right, and then we're shuffling. So I took it down completely so I could figure that out. But the goal is to hit the West Coast multiple times. So uh, be on the lookout for something. It's just not there yet because I don't want to put it up, pull it back, and then keep going back and forth.
Right. I think I did talk to you, which I'll probably talk later on because I did talk to one of your other guys about trying to host one in our town just because like it's a small town, you know, and I feel like it'll be something good that we would need here.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely. I know we talked about it, and yeah, it doesn't matter huge towns and all that. It's, do you have prospects that want to get better and learn? We can call college coaches, get them on, and bring quality staff on. But the big thing is the surrounding schools. We just need a buy-in from the host school and the surrounding schools, and then it makes sense. But if we don't have the buy-in, at least from the host school, and then trying to contact other high schools and programs, and it doesn't make sense, and obviously it won't be successful. So we want a successful camp. So yeah, some of that legwork that you did early, that's great. And yeah, we'll reconnect about that. But I thank you for asking that.
okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. And then Jew, you have a question again. Let me ask you to unmute.
Oh, there. Going on, Coach. How am I able to get invited to those spring day practices as a seventh grader?
It's pretty tough as a seventh grader. Are you talking about the college stuff?
Yes, Coach.
That's pretty tough to do as a seventh grader, to be honest with you. It can happen. It's pretty rare. It more likely starts happening at the end of your eighth grade football season. going into your ninth grade. That's normally when that starts happening. But again, if you could get with people like Reggie Buchanan or myself, if you have a high talent level and it's recognizable, and let me give you an example. If you're in the seventh grade already running a 4.5, okay, or you got a 35-inch vertical and you're catching everything, that's different. That's special, and somebody like me would see that, and we would make some phone calls to somebody like Ernest Munoz over at the Standard, which is a company I work for, or Jalen Sal, Rocky, or Reggie Buchanan. We would make a phone call to one of those guys, and those guys would actually go. I'd send the film over of you, call them and tell them what I think about you, and those guys would look at the film and go, "Hank, you're right. I think we could get these guys into Ole Miss or Vanderbilt or Texas State or UAB. They would know where to place you because this is what they do. So they would know what's your talent level and where you would go. Yes, was it impossible? No, Jew, it's not. It has happened. Matter of fact, I met Shamar at Ole Miss as a freshman, and the only reason he was there, he didn't have any receptions hardly, anything, but he came in second in the state of Mississippi in the high jump and triple jump, and that got noticed by Reggie Buchanan. You know what I'm saying? Reggie saw that and goes, "Okay, this kid's got talent. I'm going to send him over there," and it works, and that's how it works. But if you stand out, you'll be seen. You just got to be in. Again, that's that networking thing. You got to make sure you got the right people around you that have connections that can know what to do with your film and know who to talk to. That's important.
Coach Dan, Coach,
Mm-hmm.
what if I want to go and just watch?
Oh, you can do that. You just just go online and find out whatever school you're interested in that's doing either a spring training or a tryout or junior day. Look it up on Google, get that date, and you can go. It's free to the public. A lot of kids go. We see a lot of families go to those things and just watch. So you can just go and watch, and you just got to show up.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
You're welcome, bud.
Yeah, all great questions. Appreciate you guys being here. I know we are 10:09, but all good questions, and we don't want to cut anybody off that is asking anything. But yeah, we're gonna do this every Monday. I think it's important to talk about different aspects. Sometimes we'll call some of the kids, people that are in our national radar program, people who played in our game, and we'll just do a roundtable or bring some college coaches on. So we're going to
Yeah.
continue this moving forward every Monday night, and we'll keep you posted if there is not a Monday night, but we'll put the links out there, and we're going to have some great content to be able to get to you guys. So all good stuff. Hank, I kind of went over the overview of what you said, but one last
Yes, sir.
closing statement, or if you have anything before we get out of here, I'll just leave the floor to you before everybody goes. But before Hank goes, if you have any questions, go to dreamsportsgroup.net and you'll see all of our programs, camps, the game, recruiting assistance, exposure pieces, and more. There's a lot that you can click there. And then you can also email me. I already put my email address out there, shannon.riley@dreamsportsgroup.net. All right, but let me just get the floor to Hank just to close this thing out. And then once again, I thank everybody for being on tonight.
Hey guys, I appreciate you, Shannon. Thank you for having me this evening. I want to say a couple things to the kids in closing, to you kids out there watching. Discipline and effort, it doesn't cost anything, guys. Whatever camp you go to, whether it's high school, our camp, FBU, your high school, college camp, effort and attitude are absolutely free, guys. It doesn't cost anything. So work hard, outwork everybody. I tell my son, I tell Easton, I tell Malachi, I tell Shamar, I tell all the kids the same thing every day up at the school when I see them. Outwork everyone. Let talent be your backup plan, guys. And that's crucial. Just outwork everyone, have good morals, good ethics, and keep your head down, stay out of trouble, and good things. Your dream will come true. You just got to be disciplined and stay out of trouble. It'll work out for you.
Perfect. All right. Well, I thank everybody for getting on tonight. Thanks once again, Hank. Big shout
Yes,
out
sir.
to you. Appreciate you jumping in, and you're in
Thank
the
you.
process, as I mentioned. You have a son going through it, sophomore offers and everything. So that parent perspective is important, and I have a son. I'm gonna be going through it shortly too for basketball as he goes through the process. And networking, we're starting that now. He's only 11, but I'm already making connections and doing some things early. So once he gets to be eighth grade, ninth grade, we're already in the rooms. And now, like you said, hard work, talent, let that take over, and
Yep.
sky's the limit. So thanks everybody for being on. Any specific questions that weren't answered, send them to me. I'll forward it out to Hank if he has any input on those questions. I can answer those as well. But hey, we don't take it for granted. You guys spending this time with us. Thanks once again, and you guys have a great night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Shannon.
All right, thank you. All right, bye, guys.